What's up, everybody? We are back kicking it stateside on A2D Radio. Another lovely Saturday. We're winding down to these final fall Saturdays before we start hitting into that cold, frigid 30 degrees.
Yeah, who would know it's even fall right now? It's beautiful outside again.
I know. Again,
every Saturday.
I'm like, this is probably going to be the last one of the year. And it's just like, nah, just kidding. We got more left in the pocket.
Keep scheduling those Ambuck appointments.
Exactly. You squeeze them in to the last second.
Absolutely. They're still working.
Yeah, so today, obviously, another full slate of games we got coming. We're going to talk about. We got some drama already this morning.
Yeah,
Liverpool Brighton with a draw, which I don't think anybody saw that coming at all.
No. Including Jurgi.
Jurgi, not happy. We'll get into that a little bit. Obviously, we just had a game go final. We had Man City beat Burnley 2-0. Again, another game.
No, it's not final yet.
Not yet.
It's not final. No, that game's. It's not even halftime yet.
Oh. I thought it was almost over.
No. That's because you're living in Adam time.
That's true. I'm like way behind here. I think I was still thinking it was 9:30 the show from last week, so I was just assuming there's a game already wrapped up. But yes, sorry, halftime of Man City 2-0 against the lowly Burnley squad, which I think every week it seems to look like it's going to be a last season for Burnley up in the Prem. Yeah,
big trouble right now for the team from Burnley. They were able to grab a little bit of points, but they're sitting down to the bottom, and this is not a good start for them.
No, because it's. I mean, again, we talked about this before that. They don't have any scoring. Zero scoring. At least like Chris Wood was helping them a little bit and J-Rod last year. But at this point, this season, they're not getting any love from anyone.
There's nothing. Yeah, there's just absolutely nothing. It's just really poor right now. And it's just a matter of time. Last year by this time, would we sack like 4 managers already?
Yeah.
So the fact that I don't think one has been sacked yet so far into this season. Your boy Sean may be number 1 if they can't get things turned around real quick here by Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, if you go winless into the Christmas season, you're almost asking to be sacked at that point.
Yeah, they're in serious trouble. So
yes, indeed. We'll get into that a little bit as well. Obviously. The main topic today, we lost a good one. The ledge. Diego Maradona passed away earlier this week at 60 years old. I know after he had brain surgery, I think, a few weeks ago, it feels like. And then I believe he went into cardiac arrest this week. I'm guessing from said surgery. So we'll give a little, probably 15 to 20 minute little dedication tribute to Maradona, which leads into the poll question. Do you think Maradona will go down as the best soccer player of all time? What do you think?
He's on the list, absolutely. It was actually as I was, digging a little bit into his career post-death here. There was one, I guess there was this big poll one time a few years back about the greatest soccer player of all time, and he won it, but some committee was formed in order to make Pele the co-holder of it, which really ticked him off. They basically, once he was named, they were like, we're going to need this second committee to add in Pele as well. So just because some of the off-field antics, I think the soccer world was not really thrilled of, and we'll discuss that obviously when we do talk about him. But yeah, he's definitely up there as one of the greatest, definitely one of the most iconic moments in the history of the game, with the hand of God. So, just again, too early, 60 years old. Those demons just caught up to him. So from somebody who's had a few in my life too, it hits home when you see a guy like that, kind of go down. He never, unfortunately, like a lot of us did recover. He did not. So
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I would say almost he's definitely on the short list of probably the greatest of all time. I know, like you said, a lot of people would probably say Pele at this point, but obviously Maradona was before our time playing wise, so it's the only thing you have to really go off of is all the videos that they were able to take, or obviously there's ones of him, pre-game at Napoli just absolutely going crazy. Like the amount of energy he had even in warm-ups was pretty crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys, as being my age at 38, almost 39, that when Sports Center first came about in the 80s and 90s, if you ever saw a soccer highlight, it had to do with like Maradona. Like there was very few guys that ever got on ESPN because of just how little. We didn't even have really a league. I mean, we had a league here, but it wasn't much of anything at that point. So yeah, he was one of very few guys to ever get a highlight. Obviously, Pele got a highlight or two when he was finishing his career with the Cosmos, but yeah, those were like the only guys that you really ever even saw in the sports entertainment world in this country at that time. So I just remember as a kid seeing him, and you at least knew who he was.
Right. I mean, the name alone, I think, probably resonates with even probably non-soccer fans. I would say if they heard Maradona, they might not think of as on the play, what he did there, but maybe more of the off the field stuff, which isn't always a good thing. But
yeah, but he was still known, one way or another. He was still known.
Yeah, the name
guys,
Maradona is synonymous, I think, with a lot. I mean, again, it's one of those deaths that shake a lot of people. The way Kobe, obviously, it was different situations how they died, but the how they left an impact on these people in their respective sports is probably right there, hand in hand.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That guy was loved by so many people as far as a soccer player and a coach and things along those lines. So yeah, it's a shame. I think we should do a quick, I was thinking a 10-second moment of silence for the number 10, because he really did make that an iconic number. Obviously, there's other guys that have worn 10 that made it pretty iconic as well, but he was a true number 10 on the pitch. I mean, if anybody who doesn't understand the game or doesn't know what a number 10 does, I mean, that guy is just it. Yeah. Creator, just kind of did everything. So I figure a quick 10-second moment of silence, and then we'll get rolling here.
Surely.
Word.
Beautiful stuff. I guess as far as we'll talk a little bit as well on some of the games that happened last weekend. Go into that briefly like we usually do, just give a little background on what happened after the show. Obviously, we were an hour. We went on at 9:30 last week, so it was kind of like in that
it was a strange time
range of that second game. So we'll kind of go into that. Obviously, we'll get into the games that happened this morning already. A really good triple header tomorrow, which I'm very looking forward to, which is perfect since the shitty Eagles don't play, that I can sit down and not worry about watching any football or sweating it out and throwing things.
Yeah, you could do that Monday night. You could save that for Monday night.
Just that extra night, I can, get to that point and just sit there and watch 3 games that are absolutely great. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, tomorrow it's a good one. I mean, Southampton United starts us off solid.
Yeah.
Chelsea
Who would
Spurs.
have thought?
Yeah.
Who would have thought, 10 weeks ago that would be maybe the game of the week coming up here.
And that the Hamptons probably favored.
Yeah, I mean, I would think so. They are home, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, being at home in this one, sitting 5th in the table still. United, obviously, struggling in the Prem a little bit, having their issues. So, yeah, that's a hell of a game.
And then Chelsea Spurs at 11:30 tomorrow, which is a great one.
Battle, that's battle. One of those few weeks out of the year that I will be a hardcore Chelsea fan all day tomorrow. So.
Oh, what a beautiful early London derby that's going to be.
Yes.
And then
please get them,
bro. We need it. Playing well. Yeah. Then 2:15 we got Arsenal at home against good old Wolves, which you don't want to see that the way Arsenal's playing. You don't want to see that Espirito Santo line up across you if you're Mikel Arteta.
You got some money, put it on the draw. That's all I'm going to say. Throw a few bucks on the draw. That's probably your best bet.
Both teams are right back to those draw kings and the draw princes again.
Arsenal can't beat anybody but Molde. If they could play Molde every week, they'd be.
Hey, if you guys are in the Euro, if you guys could be, what is that, Norway, the Molde?
Yeah.
If you guys could play in that league, you'd be probably in first place.
Yeah, I would hope so.
We're not sure.
It's the verdict's still out on that one. Even
it's been a rough go for the Arsenal boys recently.
Like it has, but it hasn't. It's
at least in the league.
Strange. It's just strange. Yeah, it's strange. Can't figure it out. But there could be some help on the way though. You saw the little link to Mr. Christian Eriksen.
Oh, really? No, I didn't.
Little discounted offer falling out of favor. Apparently, there is a nice little discounted offer on the table for Arsenal, and
I might take that.
Yeah, maybe getting him back in the Prem wakes him up, and getting to take it to the Spurs a couple times a year would be nice too for him after he was written off there. So. It's not done, obviously, yet. You know how these little silly rumors pop up, but there is some legitimacy to it. So we'll see. And they could definitely use some help in the midfield. So hopefully,
wouldn't that be a middle finger to Spurs if he signs for Arsenal?
I missed the first part of that. I'm sorry.
I said, wouldn't that be a middle finger to Spurs if he signed for Arsenal?
Oh, that would be phenomenal. Right in Mourinho's face. Especially if he brings some quality to Arsenal's midfield, Yeah. They really need it. So we'll see. See how that goes.
Well, he needs a change of scenery bad, so I would take that.
Yeah, I think it's coming. I mean, they're pretty much done over there. So the trip to Italy did not work out. Inter's moved on at this point. So I think they're just trying to recoup anything they can at this point. So
yeah. Good deal business if it can get done.
Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on that one.
For sure. Then Monday we got Leicester versus Fulham, which doesn't on paper sound very good. Leicester looking to bounce back after a tough loss last weekend. What was that? The Liverpool game last weekend against Leicester. We'll get into that as well. talk a little
Yeah,
bit about.
I thought Leicester would have been a little bit more competitive in that one.
You would have thought. I mean, the way that they were playing.
Especially a Liverpool team that, screwed me in Champions League this week.
We'll also get into a good segue. Get into Champions League and any the Europa League games that were played by any of the Prem teams that are in said Arsenal against Molde. We kind of spoke about briefly.
Leicester luckily drawing.
Barely, yeah.
Yeah.
They had to call on they had to call on Jamie Vardy. He wasn't even supposed to play in that game. He's supposed to get a rest, and then they're like, "Well, shit, we need a late tying goal," and of course, he does it, and they tie a Braga team, which they should never tie ever.
Yeah.
That also fucked a parlay for me. So thank you to Wolves. I mean Foxes. Why do I always, every time Wolves and I always say the Wolves.
You have an issue with woodland creatures. I don't know.
Every time. God damn it.
We got to take a little hike or something. And
you got to point.
Do some creature identification.
Say that's a wolf. That is a fox, okay?
There's actually a lot of foxes in this little area of New Jersey, so you can see them running around early in the morning on my way to work through the fields.
There's a big guy that lives in my parents' they live along a cornfield, so they get all the different creatures, and there's always a nice big fox roaming. Yes, Joey, rest in peace, Maradona. And the crotch grab. We're gonna get into that at the end.
Oh yes, guys, you can for surely wait on that.
That was
we're gonna have to change the card color for this week.
Yeah, last week it was brown. This weekend it's gonna be blue.
Yes,
the blue purple card.
Yeah. At least finish the job. I mean.
Yeah. What did Greg say? At least buy him dinner first or something.
Yeah. Well, he could do what Mourinho did for Regulon and buy him a $650 ham leg. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, 650 US, 500 pounds he spent on a pig leg for him. Hey, he held up his end of the bet though. I guess he shut Mahrez down 4 out of 4 times. So that was the deal.
Nothing says high class like a nice lamb or ham leg.
Yes.
Just a weird flex.
It's a strange flex, but whatever motivates your players, right?
I mean, we had a Mr. Brian Wilson of A2D certainly caused a stir for us. He was trying to trigger us soccer fans. We're going to get into that later then.
Big Willie Vegas.
Yeah, B. Willie tried to trigger us all. Excuse me. So that's going to be talked about at the end of the show.
Hey, you know what, though? I can't really blame him because we were hyping up something, and in true Philly fashion, they let us down way too early. So way too early, and to the worst of all people.
No. You know what? I knew something was going to give, and I knew it smelled fishy when they drew, of course, a team that you played. This is the 6th time they played them. Why?
Yeah. Yeah, this whole thing is, you can see it's just not. I mean, that's part of the MLS too, and we'll talk about that. But it's
I understand. Yes, it's great. They did a great job with the bubble. They did all they could, during this time, with COVID, and obviously they wanted teams to stay and play in your sort of region and not travel and fly, which was the whole thing. Yeah. Which I think it's great, but to play a team 6 times and then to have a 2-week in between your last game and your first game in the playoffs is just ridiculous because they came out slow and they just looked like they were out of sync.
Well, and one thing too, I think a lot of people could use as a debate in this. Look at 2 of the teams that remain. in Nashville and Dallas.
They played a game before that.
They're two teams that got to sit out the whole bubble because of COVID. So they were well rested. You know, these guys have been playing a more vigorous schedule. I'm sure these guys, some of them were training together because they were allowed to stay together when they got thrown out of the bubble at home when they went back to Dallas and Nashville. So those were teams that were basically given an advantage of not having to play in game situations and rest themselves and really train and really get their chemistry down. And it's paying off now. They're both still going. So
yeah, it's just, I mean, again, they did what they could with the amount of games to get it all in, but like 2.5 weeks in between playing your last game and then this first round of the playoffs is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it cost them big time, which, again, hats off to the Rebs. They played okay. I saw somebody comment on the whoever put that up in A2D was like, the Union in the regular season, and then it was a picture of trash, the Union in the playoffs. And then some guy said, well, it wasn't really the Union playing bad. It was more the Rebs that just played really good. I'm like,
no, that early. Well, who was it? Santos again missing an early sitter.
No,
like how many times are
Montero?
Oh, Montero, yeah. Which I mean, he's known for that too. I mean,
he had a sitter at 6 feet.
Yeah, you score that goal, it's a different game. You score that goal, it's a completely different game. And yeah, I mean, I guess the nice thing is, what do they play? They play Columbus next, right? So hopefully,
Orlando and the Rebs.
Oh, they play Orlando and the Rebs. That's right. Nashville gets Columbus.
Yep.
So yeah, go Nani. I'm tired of Bruce's fat face. And if he wins an MLS Cup with this team, I'm never going to hear the end of it. So
it's just, I don't know. It's very frustrating. And again, we could have lost to anybody. That would have been fine. But hearing him just like talk literally the whole match, they have the boom mic right next to him for some reason.
I had to mute it at one point. I legit had to mute it.
Come on, press. Shut the hell up. Sir, he's thrown himself to the ground. What are you doing?
He's such a crybaby. He's such a...
God, that would have been just icing on the cake if we could have beat him another time.
Yes.
Wasn't meant to be.
We'll have to root for our buddy Ian Oscar and his Orlando squad. You know, another team, you know, that continued to make a run, though. It's awesome to see them just keep going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anytime NYCFC loses, I'm happy. So
the David Beckham FC.
And City just went up 3-0 before the half. Benjamin Mendy got another one before the half.
Score alert. Yeah, good morning, guys. Again, thanks for coming and joining us. Frank.
Yes.
Agree with the poll. Maradona and Pele in terms of greatness are 1A and 1B. Both were amazing. Absolutely. I think that's a pretty consensus thing. I think it's one of those where it's like Messi, Ronaldo argument for like our generation. And then before us, it's like the Pele, Maradona argument on who is the best.
Yeah, and you know, there's obviously a little gap window between those as far as years.
Right.
But that was kind of
Pele was early.
Yeah. So, I think Ronaldo probably comes into this, you know, conversation down the road, but just what these guys did to revolutionize the game, that's why it's different. It's like when we all, you know, the Jordan LeBron talk and the Bill Russell and the different eras and all that. But I can assure you a guy like Maradona or Pele could definitely play in this era as well as the era they did. They were tough enough. They were true soccer players. So,
well, I mean, Messi always gets the comparison to Maradona because of the way.
Countryman.
how he's Maradona was quick as hell.
Yeah.
And could finish like no other. And Messi kind of draws that comparison of, his quick feet. Maybe Messi is probably maybe a better passer of the ball from what I've seen. Again, like Maradona played a while ago. So, but it's funny because Kun Aguero married Maradona's daughter.
Yes. Oh yeah, you're an Argentinian soccer stud. You're all you all get linked together.
And Messi's the godfather.
Yeah.
Of Kun Aguero and Maradona's daughter's kid. So that's big shoes to fill for that little guy.
Yeah, so we'll be looking for him in about 15, 16 years.
Little Leo Aguero.
That'll be the next up and coming Argentinian superstar.
Well, I mean, I think the big thing to really start the tribute off is that Maradona got it done for his country, unlike Messi did.
Yes, for club and country.
Maradona won a World Cup, right?
He won a World Cup. He won, the biggest titles in all the leagues. I mean, he played in La Liga for a very short time, and if we can talk about that, obviously, there was a major thing that got him removed from Barcelona and La Liga. But in his time there, I mean, he did everything as far as beating Madrid, winning Copa del Rey's, kind of just doing what he always did. And that was playing winning soccer, except unfortunately, his time in Spain is kind of what started his use of cocaine and kind of made him a little nutso. And in 84 in a game where he had the prior year, they had played at Atletico Bilbao, and yes, the 86 World Cup, which so he had gotten his leg broken. This was in 83 in this game in Atletico, and in 84 they come back, they're playing him, and the same dude who broke his leg just fouled the hell out of him again. And he got up, took exception, got into an argument, leading him to elbow one guy in the face, punch another guy, and then basically, you can find the video on YouTube if you want to watch it, basically grabs the dude and does like a kind of a flying knee and knocks dude out cold. He takes on three guys and knocks all three out. And if anybody knows, Maradona was about 5'5", so talk about heart. He had no care. He tried to fight the whole squad, which led to him getting suspended and removed from Barca. And then kind of started to get himself together, goes to Napoli, and then the rest is history. I mean, has a tremendous career with Napoli. And then, yes, in 86, wins the World Cup. It was the semis against England with the hand of God, and then he follows it up with one of the best goals you'll ever see, where he just dribbles through the entire English national team and finishes. And like Eddie said, he's won everything. He won with Napoli. He wasn't a bad coach either. When he went to Argentina, he had a good run with them. Unfortunately, they got knocked out by Germany in the 2010 World Cup, 4-0 loss, and that kind of did him in. So,
yeah, I mean, it's one of those. I think any clip you see of Maradona, it's that hand of God where he dribbles literally through like the whole England back line.
Yeah.
And uses that quickness I was talking about and a shiftiness to kind of get around everybody and finish somehow as he's like falling over.
And that England team was the favored team in that '86 World Cup.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't, that was a monstrous situation. And
That's why it was like such a like he took like that nation on his back
yeah,
and basically had all this glory from because England was the favorites that year, and you see this little guy just dribbling through literally the best team in the world, and everyone's like, what, like,
yeah,
hence the
yeah.
handing on.
Especially a guy that was kind of written off for a little bit after that whole issue at Barcelona. So for him to come back and do that 2 years later, it was pretty awesome. Obviously, if we were in the VAR days now, hand to God would never have happened. But that was the beauty. The beauty of sports back in the day was that we didn't have all this replay, and that there was a lot more human error, and you had to deal with it. There was nothing you could do about it. There wasn't 47 camera angles. If you were lucky, there was 2. Yeah, most games it was 1. It was kind of an overhead and a guy zooming. That was it. So, yeah, but you got it's one of those just legendary moments, and it defines this game. It will always be talked about for as long as this game is being played. And yes, 34 years later, the English are still salty about it.
I mean, I would be too. If you're the heavy favorites like that in like '86, like England's probably like we're like way ahead of everybody else in terms of maybe like Brazil of like, obviously the whole Brazil Joga Bonito thing, but England's probably thinking like, we're the dominant force in like world football. Like we should easily win this thing. And of course, then this an Argentinian little guy just like absolutely embarrasses your back line. You're like, all right, that's respect.
Yeah,
to you.
not much you could do on that one. So,
I mean, yes, he had his demons. Everybody knows the cocaine thing, and I think during our show. Maybe last year, I think we talked about this. It was part of one of our shows that the team he was coaching in, I believe, Argentina, where he had on the touchline, he had his throne. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Just coaching from the touchline in like this like LeBron James like king throne, just sitting there directing the players.
After his run with the Argentina team, he did, he coached a few different teams in the Argentinian league. And so, yeah, he's a legend. He's a classic. The guy made his pro debut at 15 years old. He's one of those. And it didn't take him long to just run up the ranks as some of the great ones do at that age. Let's see where else? I mean, he was with Boca Juniors. It was all short stints. He went to Atletico Junior or Argentina Juniors, which in Argentina is one of the biggest clubs there, and he played there for a few years. Had 1 year at Boca, and then goes to Barca. I mean, he's just great. He was one of the greatest players of all time, and it's sad to see when things in life kind of take that away. We see it in sports all the time. Some of the best talent that's ever played certain sports never even made it to the biggest stages because of mental health and drug addiction and just lifestyle. I mean, they always say there's guys at Rucker Park that outplayed Jordan or could have outplayed Jordan, but they liked doing other things more and never were able to escape that. So unfortunately for him, like we said, it ended his run a little too early, but I mean, it's kind of what made him too, so.
Yeah. I mean, what was it? Was it this last World Cup where he was in like the press box, like flipping off one of the teams?
There's always he's never gotten far away. Yeah, he's never gotten far away for the game. his love for his country. I mean, there's nobody else that you could think of that loves their country more than Diego Maradona loved Argentina. So, and the feeling was mutual, with them. So,
I mean, that probably caused him some pain too, seeing Argentina struggle.
Oh yeah, it's been hard for him. He's been very vocal about it, and the whole the whole Messi thing and everything, and how talented Messi is, but them just not being able. That's why he took on that Argentina coaching job.
Yeah,
and he wanted to get them back up into the world ranks, and like I said, he was doing a pretty good job. But after that 4-0 loss to Germany, and apparently there was a little spat with some high-ranking officials, and the rest is history. So.
But it's more the good things than, the bad things that you can remember him by. Obviously, people are going to look and be like, yeah, he had his demons, but again, everybody does.
It should never define anybody. So I know there was talks, people were saying, should they retire the number 10 across all of soccer, which you can't do that. No. But I think Napoli may entertain it. I think even Boca juniors may entertain it because of his early start there and kind of finishing out his career there. But I'm thinking like a 1 week across soccer or something. Maybe nobody wears it. If they could set that up, I think that would be kind of cool. Or they do like a Jackie Robinson thing where everybody wears 10 one game out of the year or something.
Yeah, Napoli actually did that for their Europa League game. Everybody wore the number 10 shirt.
Yeah, I mean, just as much as he's loved in Argentina, he's loved in Italy at Napoli too. I mean, for what he did there. I mean, there was guys in Italy crying in the streets as well. So,
don't worry. It was a week of mourning for Diego Maradona and triggering by other people online. And Greg and I had a nice conversation on Twitter with Troll Tori, your counterpart in the troll game.
She's the best.
Where there was some things said, and I said it's not for everybody. I threw it out there. I'm like, guys, it's fine.
Yeah.
And then you could
handle it.
You could come over the top and say soccer players are the P word, and I'm like, all right, man. Like, how long did you wait to say that?
Yeah. Oh, that's the go-to. But yet they've never,
what happened
never,
to that
ever
one?
watched.
What happened to that thread with you and that cat that got taken down?
Oh, yeah. So it got removed because
was personal attacks made?
Listen, if you want to attack what we're doing, and you want to start throwing junk at us and say that we have 12 fans and that you were one of the 12, and I just casually asked if his sister was the other 11. I mean, I didn't even know he had a sister.
Oh, no, he went there.
And that's not a personal attack. You've been personally attacking our show and our reputation. So you want to get personal. That's all I asked. I just wanted to know. I was asking for a friend. I mean, we have some nice female fans, and I thought maybe she was one of them. That was all. I don't think I did anything wrong.
It was a simple question, Doctor.
I can't help the kid, The kid, he's just salty. He likes to show up when things are good for him, but ever since that Giants game, he has not posted one thing or responded to anything I tagged him in. And then I went to tag him in that post, and it wouldn't let me. And then next thing I know, he's in there because I know one of his buddies saw it and let him know. And then he claimed, "Oh, I didn't have you blocked. You just don't know how to tag people." And da-da-da-da-da. So that's where that stemmed from. It's been stemming from this little thing with the Daniel Jones, Carson Wentz thing, which I'm now on top. So we'll just, we'll keep going there. And
I was just wondering what happened because I went to look at, I came to your aid. I know you didn't need any help, but
no, I always appreciate it. Hey, he's attacking our show. It's our show, so you're welcome to come at him too. Look at the kid.
I didn't want to get involved, but I was feeling froggy, so I leaped around.
Hey, I was trying to set up some A2D celebrity boxing, and
that's like those other guys that the B word do.
Yeah, I know.
But that's enough about that, Jack.
Yeah, Trollgate.
But yes, Greg, the crotch grabs will be talked about at the end. Our blue card.
Yes. I think that alone is making Greg interested in playing soccer.
Yeah, I mean it's.
I feel like he's very intrigued by the crotch grabbing.
Well, that's what I said to Tori. I'm like, oh, so like guys in other sports like never grabbed a guy's junk before, and she's like, no, it wasn't the junk grab itself. It was the 3-game suspension for said junk grab that she thought that was very soft and dumb of the league, which we'll get into later. But
well, I mean, and in what you were just saying. What American football, exactly. I can attest to it. When you're sitting in a pile and there's 9 guys piled on top of each other, sometimes little, things get done that shouldn't be talked about. And the greatest basketball of all time, Michael Jordan, was known for when he was backing you down and ready to make his little historic spin move to give you a little tapper with that right hand before he spun, just to kind of deter you from being able to follow him on that spin. So
get a little space.
I think the issue with the one we saw was it was a little more caressing. It wasn't really like
that wasn't a tap. That was like a handshake. How you doing?
You know what I think happened? I think the dude said something about his earlier in the game, like, oh yeah, I gotta, and he was like, after that happened, he was like, oh yeah, let's see, what do you got? Like he was really just calling him out on the stage.
He was like, nice to meet you, sir.
Yeah.
That was a handshake, my God. But again, we'll talk briefly about that in the yellow card, red card segment.
Yes.
But yeah, it's always an entertaining week, especially when everybody, Thanksgiving came up. And again, hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hopefully you got to be with some family. I know there's a lot of people, whether they possibly had COVID and had to quarantine themselves, waiting for a test to be the results to be back, or whatever the case may be. Hopefully you got time to at least Zoom with family a little bit, or something of that sort, to make it feel a little bit less weird and more normal, I guess.
Yeah, it was a different kind of year, so I had to do a couple little traditions to just make everything feel right and normal to me. So, but it was fast. It was uneventful, honestly.
The older you get, the more uneventful these holidays are, in my opinion.
Yeah. Food was delicious. Mom did a great job, but I having to get up early the next morning and all that, just living that adult life. Just put a mellow yellow.
Joey from the top rope.
Yo, Big Willie, what up?
Oh,
he's here.
The troll himself has made his presence known.
He's here. We'll throw you a few bets before the show's over too, that you might want to ride into the weekend.
Hopefully, I mean, goddamn.
Yeah, I know. We've been all right. We just look. I don't take a 14-game parlay as an L. That's a gamble. So that's like buying a scratch off. So running a 14-game parlay and hitting 12 out of 14 ain't so bad. So he said, "I love soccer, footy talk." Yeah.
I said the A2D tailgate at the Union game next season, fingers crossed, is happening.
It's going to be like no other that stadium has ever seen, because you're going to have a whole bunch of non-soccer guys that just want to yell and drink, and I'm okay with it. I'll lead the way. I'll take my sober butt, and I'll make sure we all get to our seats. And
there you go. Somebody's got to keep us in line.
We'll have a grand old time.
But yeah, I told Tommy to let his hair down a little bit, and you can't put the blinders on, man.
Yeah, it's time.
It is time to, us being a part of the A2D family for a year now. Let it go.
Oh, I would have too, dude. I 12 out of 14, bro. I sent you the screenshots, like 12 out of 14, and the 2 that I lost were the 2 games that shouldn't even have been a question mark. Honestly, I go back and I should have left the Liverpool Atalanta out of there, because that's a scary game, because we know how Atalanta could score. I should have made it a 13, but I still would have lost with Atletico just somehow not showing up in their game. So I would have rather. I was telling Eddie, I was happy that I lost 2, because losing just 1 hurts more, I think. At least I missed it by 2. It didn't hurt quite as bad. And it was a small, my investment was very small. The payout was
I knew to keep Liverpool off. I knew that game was too much of a toss-up. I was like, no, I know Atalanta could come ready to play, and they can score in bunches. Not happening.
Yeah. It was upsetting, but hey, we'll run another one this week and see what we could do again. Let it go.
We don't stop.
Yo, what up, Pete? What up?
No shot that great. Yeah, the slander from soccer people that are saying it sucks probably could not run 11 to 12 miles in a game.
Yes.
I couldn't. Shit. Yes, no. Greg's in.
Oh, yeah. We'll be full squatted.
That's the game where, you want to meet like Lord Walker and Eddie. Some of these guys. Joey obviously will come out, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, some of them are not right around the corner either. But
true.
But we can. I was chatting with Lord Walker yesterday and this morning. It's been a while. He's had a lot going on, so he wanted to do a little thing on the show, this week. But I told him we just weren't going to be able to prepare it in time. So I'm thinking maybe next week we'll get him back on. He wants to have a little debate.
Oh. That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
We'll get Lord Walker on next week to chat.
Yeah, we'll say. By the time I saw the message, we had already worked on what we were going to do this week, and I didn't want to disrupt that flow, so we'll get it in for next week. There she is. Hey, she joined us. I don't care in what capacity, if it's troll form or not. She opened it up, she clicked on it, and she typed. That's all I need.
That's the big thing. We got her drawn in. That's step number 1 where she commented.
Step number 1. Yes.
Thank you, Tor.
Welcome.
I mean, why not? For girls, it's like soccer players are the best looking guys in the world. That should be some incentive.
Oh yeah, definitely best shape too for the ladies. Nothing like a guy who can run 90 straight minutes without looking tired.
I mean, have you seen Ronaldo? The man's like a freaking Portuguese god.
And speaking of, while we got the lady presence here, we got 2 things that we need to talk about. We got Miss Sarah Fuller. You want to talk about soccer and the little football mix?
Yeah.
Miss Sarah Fuller for Vanderbilt will be in full uniform for Vandy with the potential to kick field goals for the Vanderbilt team. What is that, today, I guess, right? Saturday.
Yeah.
It's college football. So that is today. There she is right there. Girl playing kicker. It's pretty dope. Yes. So
absolutely.
Hopefully she gets a chance, and hopefully she does something with that chance. That would be awesome to see. And then obviously our women were back in action yesterday, taking on the Dutch women. And our girl Rose with a beautiful goal.
She's so good.
She made that Dutch defender look so foolish. And
She's so
unfortunately,
good.
the politics behind soccer is she's sitting on the bench at City right now because I guess one of the girls that plays her position is on the English national team. So unfortunately, they're not giving her the opportunity at the moment, but she keeps playing like that. They're going to have to.
It's essentially the same thing, different ball, round ball. It's supposed
No,
to.
what she decided was she could do both at a really high level. And maybe if she bangs some field goals, she can get a nice paycheck because they underpay the women to play that sport in this country. So
she decided
that's why they're all
like, I can kick way better than this motherfucker that we have on our team.
Well, if some of these football coaches were smart, my high school kicker was a former soccer player. Obviously these guys know how to kick the ball. It's just a matter of kicking it in the right spot because of the shape of the ball, like you said.
And kicking it through uprights. And with 11 men running at you, trying to block the shit out of you.
Yeah, but see, one thing a kicker always has to remember is they can't touch you. Right. And if they do, even if they kill you, it's good for the team. So you got to do what's best for the team and deal with that. Did I play soccer? I played soccer when I was a kid. And I was big. And just like every other big kid in America, you get convinced to leave and play football. And I played football for many years. And I'm a huge football fan. And I'm a huge soccer fan. Soccer was part of my life renaissance. As we talked about Maradona and not being able to get himself, kind of, as I got myself on the right track, soccer was a game that I reintroduced myself to, and kind of found a passion for, because, one thing I can say is, for me, NFL, football, and drinking kind of was a hand in hand, like everybody else that celebrates on Sundays and Mondays. So I kind of had to remove myself from that, for about a year, till I got myself on track, and I picked soccer up. It got me up early in the morning watching these games, and really, really is where I got back into the game. But
right.
Yeah, I play with the team I coach now. I'm not a player. I got a decent right. I have 0 left, and I'm not running for 5 minutes, let alone 90. So
hell no. I was way too chubby and slow as a child to even think about playing soccer. So I played when I was like 5 to like 7 years old, and then the running around was just not. I was not about the running. So I stuck with the sport where you don't run. My brother played all throughout almost college, so I would go watch the games, but I mean, I wasn't.
I used to I tried to get convinced by my friends' older brothers that played soccer to not go over to football, but I went with all my boys and played football for all those years, and I don't regret it, but I kind of regret giving up on the game because I do love how much I love this game now. I wish maybe I stuck through it a little bit more, but I was kind of a fat kid. I was a bruiser.
I mean, we're all a little chunky and thick. It's not soccer. Soccer is not for that type of body. Like I had when I was a child. Just not happening.
Yeah.
I stuck to a sport where you don't run at all in baseball. Just hit the ball.
Hit the ball and quick sprints.
I could throw. Don't ask me to run because I'm not going to do it.
I was a hell of a pulling guard.
There you go.
For many years. So.
Living the glory days.
Oh, yeah. I was a lacrosse player.
Just a bruiser out there on the field.
Straight defender. I had no stick skills. I'd just hit you when you came across the middle. That's it.
Oh, my God.
Like I want to do to our little friend with the bad haircut.
The one that should be remained nameless.
He won't even have the guts to come on here and troll us. That's how coward he is. Like, at least come on and talk shit though for a half hour. Like, show me something. Show me some spine.
Score alert. City.
Yeah, 5. I was just I was going to announce the 4th, and Eddie's already announcing the 5th. So.
We appreciate Eddie because he's always on his shit, and he knows what he's talking about. I want to get Eddie as well on the show.
We keep talking about it. I'm trying to get him on. So
when he's available.
Yeah, we will. We definitely have to get him on.
Riveting stuff. I know. Isn't it
Thanks,
great? Hey, I'd
you.
rather be watching some soccer than this Eagles fucking shit the bed every week.
Yes. Not me.
Not you.
Honestly, the Eagles' losses the last couple of weeks have gotten me through because my team, the team I coach, had a couple bad games here. You know, took a couple L's in a row. My daughter's team was struggling. So I was coming home pretty upset on Sundays, and that's at least put a smile on my face. So, especially with the G-Men win and then losing to Cleveland, I mean, come on, you can't get much better than that. So, gave me something to cheer about.
Eddie said he doesn't know. Brian goes through it.
Live on air, my son comes just barreling into the. Last time he was jumping on the bed behind me, trying to do some superhero move to me in the middle of the show. So
that was funny as hell.
Couple of L's in a row. That seems about right.
Burnley should start writing books on that because that's the way they're looking.
Oh, dude. And now you're getting hit with a -5, if not more, because there's, 20 minutes left in that on your goal differential? Dude, they're in trouble, man. Sonny he might not survive the weekend.
If they lose like 7-0, that might call for firing.
Going into this game, they had 5 points through 8 games with a -8 goal differential. If this game holds the way it is, they will have the worst goal differential in all of the Premier League right now. Worse than West Brom and Sheffield. And Fulham.
It's brutal. So, it's not good.
It's brutal. He really might not survive this weekend.
It's the Norwich of this season. Just a team that just you can't score.
Yeah, but Norwich showed us something. Norwich, early last year, at least they showed us something.
For the first month, they were okay, and then they beat City, and then after that, it was like a complete just.
Yeah, they went on the road and beat City, and then
they tanked, and they didn't even mean to tank.
That was everything that they had in that game.
Exactly, that's pretty bad when you lose. I don't what level you're at. 5-0 is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And this is a City team that's not exactly been crazy.
No, they've been struggling. They're going into the game 14th in the table.
Exactly.
You're behind Arsenal and Crystal Palace. I mean, granted, Crystal Palace has played 10 games and City had only played 8 going into this one. But, I mean, you figured City was due for something.
Just absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, look at that. She just sent us a picture of her. It looks like letting up a goal.
Let me see this.
Maybe that's where her hatred of soccer comes from, was her poor goalkeeping. I can understand that. She's so you're out of position. You got your feet all wrong.
Very flat-footed.
Very flat-footed.
That does. Your sister probably just beat your ass in soccer, so at that point you're like,
yeah.
I hate this game.
went crying home and said, I'm never playing this game again. And now here we are.
Now the tables slowly are turning, and you're like, all right, well, these guys make talking about soccer maybe a little entertaining than just watching. I'm telling you, it's like hockey. It's so much better live than on TV. Soccer can be a little bit tedious and boring on TV. I admit, hand up. But I'm telling you, if you went to a Union game right now this year with the stadium full at 16,005 people, hopefully, probably not next year, but who knows. But when that day comes, in a full stadium playing against either the Red Bull or DC, where their away fans travel as well, and you get that banter between the two fan groups, you'll probably want to go back every week. And we drink.
Wow. You guys.
Brian does not. He's the moderator. He can't.
I'll be chilling. I'll be good.
Boys and drinks, exactly. Not that the Union have very good-looking guys at all, but hey,
I think she meant us.
Oh. Well, that's a given.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Tommy.
What's up, boss man? What's up?
Good morning. We've been just all over the map today. This is fun.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the times we talk about having some kind of structure, but when it really comes down to it, this is what A2D is all about, man.
No notes.
It's like, we structure ideas and things like that, but really it's just we want to run with the fans. We want to run with what everybody else is obviously interested in talking about. We have certain points that we want to drive home and certain things we want to talk about.
What does that even mean? What is this, Queen's Gambit? We're playing chess out here?
I think it probably goes to my comment the other day that
or is that a
slight,
like a boring
chess, not
thing?
Checkers. Is soccer is a game of chess, not checkers. But if
Joey coming in.
Any little kid sitting in front of Cracker Barrel can play the game of checkers. Let me tell you that. It takes a real thinker and to play the game of chess. So
Tori's love for Jimmy Butler. He does love soccer.
And Jimmy Butler loves soccer, and I love Jimmy Butler as well, so that's just another thing that we have in common.
If you like soccer and wine, if you love soccer and wine, I think you and Jimmy Butler would be a match made in heaven.
Yeah. So, but if he hears how much you don't like the game, then you got no shot, girl.
No. If you say that you hate soccer, he's not even going to give you the time of day.
Yeah, no play.
Disagree to the poll, Tommy says.
What's up, Karasov? Or Karasaram? You agree? Nice.
Again, it's one of those where, again, both of these players like Maradona and Pele were before our time. Like, I didn't see him play. Neither of them play like live. It's before. Yeah. It's not our era. So you're just going off of videos that you know and can see on who do you think? That's like the eye test. I don't know.
Yeah.
And people are going to probably say because of Maradona's, addiction that maybe that gives him, minus some of the points. It doesn't make him to seem like the stand-up guy that Pele was, which is kind of unfair.
Yeah. David Beckham.
Y'all tugging at the parts.
The nice thing is we do live in the era of, things like YouTube, and you're more than welcome to go search some videos on Maradona because there is film. It was the late 70s, 80s. He even played into the 90s, late into his career. So there is film on him. It's just, if you want to really do the time and do yourself a favor and kind of see what everybody else sees and why everybody really respects what the guy did. I mean, you can go see it for yourself.
I mean, that Hand of God clip alone should be like,
yeah,
you should be like,
there's just, there's just so much like these guys and sometimes highlights their soccer is just making a good run. Obviously it takes knowing the game a little bit to understand what you're watching sometimes and like, why was that a good play? But I think you could figure it out when you see a guy moving the ball with his feet and making a move and running between two grown men that look at each other like they're completely, bewildered of how that happened. That should tell you enough about how good he was.
Well, that's what people that don't watch soccer don't understand, that it's all everybody wants to like go, 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 run up the field, kick the ball up the field. Well, sometimes going forward isn't always good. Sometimes going backwards is better than going forwards. It just depends on the
Yes.
situation. And a lot of non-soccer fans don't understand that. Because obviously in other sports, going backwards is a negative thing. In soccer,
Yeah.
it's not always a negative thing to move the ball and kick it back to your goalie. If you're not seeing anybody open in front of you, you could always have that safety net and you could kick it back to your goalie and set things up again. It's almost like restarting the offense in basketball, kick it back to the
Same
point.
thing with hockey.
Yeah. Everything runs from
hockey.
The goalie is the point man. He can see the whole field. He has the best advantage. So people always yell like, "Go forward, come on!" It's like, no.
Yeah. How many times do you push forward and you turn the ball over and get caught on a counter and get scored on?
Exactly.
It's about playing smart, distributing the ball. That's why passing is such a big stat. Like they always, when you look at soccer stats, you have four main stats. You have goals, you have assists, you have passes, and you have clean sheets. Clean sheets obviously are for the goalie, not allowing a goal. Guys do get a clean sheet as well, on the team, but they don't give them that statistic in the breakdowns, but like if you're on the pitch when the team gets a clean sheet, you're part of that clean sheet. But passing is a huge part of this game, and it's not just about scoring and assists that I try to explain to people. Obviously, yes, you want to score, you want to win, and that's a given in any sport. Everybody wants to win. You want 3 points. You want to go out there. You want to do your thing, but you have to understand the draw has a little bit more significance in soccer than any other sport, where you never want to tie. This is probably the only sport that sometimes you'll accept a tie.
I know. I saw somebody chirp about ties. I forget who that was.
Yeah, and then I think after I broke it down, typically, no, they don't respond or even like it once I kind of explain to them.
You hit him with.
I love that.
You hit him with the facts, and it just like is one of those where his head starts spinning. Like what? No, doesn't understand the concept that a point is good. Sometimes
there's an intelligence level to this game that some people just don't have. I don't know what to tell you. So
there's layers to the shit, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Tori did say Beckham is the best of all time. Best looking, maybe.
Hey, hell of a player.
He was good.
Player, definitely.
He had it both.
He had his moments. There's a lot of guys that have had, been great in their generation. Speaking of, while we're there, segue right into that real quick. The great Wayne Rooney looks like he's going to be taking over the manager's chair at Derby.
Yeah, I saw that because he was already kind of like a player coach-ish.
He's been player coaching a little bit, and the manager just got sacked last week. And they basically asked him, with the accompaniment of a couple other guys, to kind of coach this. He'll still be in. I don't know if he'll still be in uniform or not. But
why is this the sideshow over here?
I love it. You guys do kind of. You kind of do.
Me and Chrome, yeah. I think I'm a little better looking than Chrome. No offense to Chrome. He's a good-looking guy, which isn't a bad thing to get compared to.
Audibly, you sound like a guy over on one of our competitors there, former fullback for both the Seattle Seahawks and the Philadelphia Eagles, Mr. John Ritchie. I always hear a similarity in your two voices. I've always thought that since I first met you. So,
come on. Again, Chrome's a fine-looking gentleman and a scholar.
Thought which was among this one? You wouldn't be off.
It's got to be the hat and the facial hair. I don't know.
It must be.
I don't know. But I got better hair. I'll give him. I got to take one for me.
Yeah. Oh, Adam definitely has better hair, even though he's covering it up today.
It's rough. You don't want it. I don't like Mickey Mouse. I'm not a Disney freak. Sorry, Chrome again. I don't mean to. They're making me do it.
Awesome.
I do not go to Disney as a 30-year-old usually. Those people freak me out. Again, no offense.
Unless they're bringing their kids, but
let's see your hair. No, it's bedhead. That's why I have my goddamn hat off. Sorry. Take it off. Take it off. No.
We shall not. So back to the pitch.
Yeah.
Let's go back to last week.
Let's bring it back.
What did we see last week? We saw Chelsea get a dub against Newcastle.
Yes. So I'm pulling up last week.
We saw this hot Brighton team that just drew Liverpool today get a win against Villa, who can't say has cooled off because they just smoked Arsenal, but they're not quite as hot as they were to start the season.
Everybody's beating Arsenal right now, so you can't really say that.
Yeah. You had Spurs. Spurs get a nice win over City.
That was a good win.
That was a good win, I have to admit, as much as I hate Spurs.
And now Sonny
got a good win.
MVP talks?
He has to be. He's sitting ninth in scoring, right? Or with 9 goals, second in goals with 9 goals. And but the thing is, Harry's got to be in there too, because Harry's not far behind him with 7, and Harry has 9 assists. So,
every goal that Sonny has is usually has been assisted by Harry Kane.
Yeah. So those two together right now, I mean, they're doing their thing, and it's showing on the score sheets, and it's showing they're sitting second in the table. So for as bad as it has looked at moments early, after the restart, and you thought there were some issues there, and them losing a game to Antwerp, and they're just doing their thing, and
Mourinho's happy.
I really hope your boys put them back in their place this week, but it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be an easy task because they are playing good ball right now.
The way Chelsea's playing, I'm feeling pretty confident. And we haven't seen Kai on the pitch because he's trying to come back from COVID.
Yeah.
The defense is playing a lot better. I mean, Mendy is like leaps and bounds better than dumbass in net that we had, Kepa.
Oh, yeah. Mendy's phenomenal.
So, I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. Kurt Zuma, the guy I've been calling for his head for like the past 2 years, is actually playing decent. I hate to admit, right now the Thiago Silva signing looks pretty decent.
He's settling in. It was going to take him time to settle in. We knew that.
Chilwell looking fantastic. And this is without Pulisic, too. So I'm feeling pretty good. And they're talking about signing David Alaba, which wouldn't make sense for Chelsea at all because he's not playing left back. Hey, there's Chrome.
I completely lost audio to you.
We were just talking about you.
Give me a second.
Hey, Chrome, they said we look alike. Twins. I just said I had better hair.
There you are.
Mute gate.
Oh, my goodness.
There I am. I can hear it.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I completely lost all audio to you.
It's always something, God damn.
It is. I'm loving this computer, though.
It looks like a fresh setup you got.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Got the Kickin and Stateside hat sitting here.
Look at that painter's hat. Nothing better.
Love it.
You know what? I I don't even try. Like, my family, my dad has terrible facial hair. So I'm lucky to get like my grandfather's, like on my mom's side, I sort of get stuff. I look like a child if I don't have anything rocking. Brian's got the nice setup. I wish I could do that.
I shaped up just for you guys today. I was feeling I needed to get myself a little going.
Nice.
So.
The very lined up.
Yeah, thanks. I've been feeling like a little bum lately, so I needed something to make myself feel better.
Look good, feel good, man. Yeah, Chrome's got the little bit of a gingery, but so do I. If you like really like look, if you're like here next to me, I do have a little bit of ginger in the beard. GQ magazine.
You know that. I didn't even get a haircut this week either.
We are on the next issue on the cover of GQ.
Next cover of A2D Radio magazine.
The new
coming to a newsstand near you.
Is soccer a real sport? A piece by Victoria. And we'll just be the poster boys for that.
Nah, I'm with it.
See? Great ideas all around.
Tommy knows I'm full of great ideas. We're just getting to the process of finally being in a state of just well-being in mind to execute them. So there's things coming. I've just, life kind of kicked us all in the ass for a little while there, but we're getting back rolling here. So the ideas are just rolling out left and right.
I said I think I'm gonna design some sort of like prototype like scarf and see what you think. Maybe that'll be like your Christmas gift.
Oh, beautiful.
A nice Kickin at Stateside scarf you can hang up in your man cave as well.
And I'm gonna start. I'm getting that the full suite here coming up of Adobe. So that will be
edit those
next
videos.
Week. Yeah, everything, Audition, all that good jazz that's in there. There's like 20 Adobe programs that you get with it, so it's a monthly fee, but it's well worth it for what we're trying to do. So I think I can contribute on other aspects as well once I get that done. So yeah, I'm pumped up for that, man.
Where were we last week? Yeah, before we got sidetracked.
United with a uneventful 1-0 gift PK as usual.
No way.
Win over West Brom. Surprise, surprise.
Who took that
United,
PK?
Who else? The guy that's fixed all their PK problems.
I swear to God, every United, it doesn't matter if it's in the Prem or Europa League or Champions League, it's always like box score. Bruno Fernandes, PK.
Yeah, now they're in a little bit of a hot water too. They have some internet issue some hacking of some emails possibly that has happened.
Ed Woodward's getting in trouble for weird stuff.
Yeah, and there's probably some content in those emails that they want destroyed about how many PKs we're going to give you throughout the year.
How much money they freaking grease the pockets of the FA and FIFA.
Yes. So
the hush money.
All not confirmed, but speculated heavily.
Oh yeah,
heavy speculation on that one.
What else we had last Sunday? We had Everton beat Fulham 3-2. Everton getting back on the winning track barely.
That was a game they had to win.
Big loss for them. Luca Digne underwent surgery. He's going to be out 2 to 3 months, which is not what you want to hear if you're a Toffee fan.
Yeah, I mean they're doing better than maybe anticipated to start the year. We weren't sure how it was going to start off after some struggles last year. They're obviously not as hot as they were. They're sitting down in 6th right now in the table.
I mean, they started almost like unreal hot. Like,
yeah.
Almost nobody could have seen that. Like expectations like up here.
Yeah.
And now they're kind of like down to real life, and That's the game you have to win, though, against Fulham. Like, I don't care. Like, 3-2 against Fulham, you're still leaking in way too many goals. Like, 2 is way too much against Fulham.
They just haven't been the same team after Pickford killed Van Dijk. I mean, it's weird.
You know, that's going to be a fun, kind of another sidebar here. I think that Pickford's not going to win that England starting job for the World Cup in 2022.
No, there's no way.
He's looked very sketchy. Yeah,
there's way too much other talent right now for him to even be considered in that. I mean, even look at old. He's 30. Alex McCarthy should challenge him. I mean, the guy's got 4 clean sheets so far for Southampton.
Yeah.
So and then you got Dean Henderson. You got
Nicky Pope.
You got Nick Pope. I mean, the list goes on.
There's too many good young English goalies to push him.
Yeah, Pope has 3 clean sheets. As bad as Burnley's been, Pope already has 3 clean sheets.
He'll be out of there because once Burnley gets relegated, he'll find a home.
Oh yeah, he'll find a home, definitely.
Sidebar: Chrome agrees to the poll. Comes down to Diego and Pele. Diego empowered the entire nation, and his ability to keep the motor running from start to finish and never fade an ounce was outstanding. Yeah, I mean,
astounding.
That's what we were talking about. I mean, Maradona got it done, won that World Cup in '86. I know there was some issue, I believe in '94 World Cup, Pele tested positive for whatever, and he got sent home, I believe, that year. But the way that, again, beating that England team that was supposed to run away with the '86 World Cup was just a feat in itself. And to have an entire nation rally around you, which soccer is so huge, like, there's nothing better than that. And Pele, there's just so many good like the line of Brazilians is just outstanding.
Yeah, I mean,
Argentina has like Maradona, and you think of Messi at this point.
Yeah, you know, a couple others that you would think, but those are your 2 main ones. The Brazilians have definitely had a longer run.
Like Pele, Ronaldo, Fat Ronaldo, Ronaldinho.
Yeah. Now
Neymar, but he's the best.
I mean, there was a bunch even in between Pele and the other ones too.
Roberto Carlos, was he Brazilian?
Roberto Carlos, right? Yeah. I mean, there were so many. I grew up. One of my best friends growing up was Brazilian, so I always knew about Brazilian soccer.
It was Joga Bonito.
Yeah, I mean, there was the list went on and on and on and on, and they've always had one guy at least as like one of the number ones in the game currently. And they always will. I mean, it's just that Brazilian soccer factory. I mean, Pele started it back in the 50s and 60s, and it's continued since then. So,
yeah, again, it comes down to those 2 probably at this point in time. Yeah. Sure, you could probably throw like a Franz Beckenbauer if you want to, go that route. I don't know. I just don't want the cocaine to be, the addiction to be the factor in deciding.
Yeah.
Because again, that's kind of unfair. Even though that's what people probably always revert back to. And Pele was such like a great guy. He came over, played for the Cosmos in the U.S. basically for free, essentially.
He was almost 50 at that point. Like,
but he did a great thing.
Yeah,
he wanted to promote the game in the U.S.
He did. He did a phenomenal thing, and I wish they were still the Cosmos because
maybe they should rebrand back to it. Your Red Bull,
right?
But they would probably lose all that Red Bull money, and then they would have to implode Red Bull Arena. And then Harrison, New Jersey would just be another shithole.
Yes. Like Chester.
Fuck, true. Even worse. Damn it.
Yeah.
I set myself up for that.
You did. And as usual, I was ready for it.
I know you never miss a beat.
I miss a couple, but
Oh God! All right, what the hell were we doing? Oh yeah,
I was trying to just ramble you on so we could avoid my game, but we got one more before that. West Ham beat Sheffield 1-0.
Brutal. Another team.
Another night. Yeah, another nice win for West Ham, and Sheffield Sheffield and West Brom are the only two teams without wins still.
I don't think Sheffield's going to win a match.
It's not looking good.
In the rest of the calendar season.
They have 1 point. 9 games in.
Talk about a team that just cannot score, and I feel like it's like an issue you just keep bringing up, that the fact that with no fans in the stands had just like killed the momentum of this club.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing. There's no luster anymore. They're just the Blades. Last year they were the Blades. Now it's just a lower team that's probably, unfortunately, you hate to see it. I love them. They're my adopted sons last year, but
they had their own sound drop on our show. They were so good last year. Sing. And now
I have it somewhere. If I get that flash drive, I'll drop it.
They're just not. There's just nothing there. It's really sad, but unfortunately, that's how this game goes. And another reason why we say how great this game is, because unlike all these sports in America, you're not tanking. You tank, you go bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just take a season off and get rewarded by getting the best young player coming up in your sport.
Don't work like that.
You get, not only do you get sent down to the lower league, now no one wants to come play for you because you have no money to pay them. You've already been laughed at because you got sent down to the lower league, and now you got to do everything you can to stay in that league and not get sent down to the lower league.
Yeah, so, you don't want to do the double.
Yeah, like imagine the worst team in baseball getting sent down to AAA, and then them not showing up in AAA, and next thing you know, now they're in AA. Like, you think teams would just be okay with being bad? I don't think so. The Sixers wouldn't have been able to tank for 11 straight years and still be average. Just saying.
That one cuts deep.
I'm a Knicks fan, so I
True.
I'm hurt. I've been hurt for 30 years, so I mean, there's nothing you could throw at me that I can't take.
Hey, ain't no stopping Obi Toppin.
Hey, I love that Obi Toppin pick.
I just want to put that on a shirt. Ain't no stopping Obi Toppin.
I might get it.
You better beat the B words to that, because I heard them rummaging around.
Wow.
With that one. What else? Oh, your Arsenal boys stink.
Yeah, they stink. Honestly, you got to be happy that you didn't concede a goal to Leeds at home. But
you also should score against Leeds. They give up a lot of goals.
Yeah, Leeds' defense is not good. They're one of the highest scoring. Actually, yeah, they've allowed 17 to this point, so they've let up basically just as much as anybody in the league, and you can't put one in on them. It's just a sad thing right now that they're doing what they do, it seems like, every year, and they leave points on the table against teams that they should be getting 3 against. And by the end of the year, we're going to be in a position where we could really use 1 or 2 of those points, and we're not going to have them. And, well, I'm sure they'll be in Europa again, because that's just what they do. They'll find a way to win either some kind of side cup or something to stay at least in Europa League, or maybe squeak into the top 6. Although the way things are going this year, it's going to be difficult to get into the top 6 this year because of how, spread out the league is right now.
Yeah, top heavy for sure.
So, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what the answer is. I don't think Arteta's doing a bad job still. I think it was a bigger project than people realize that he's taking on, and patience is going to have to be key. I know it's hard when you're trying to be a top club in the world, let alone just in England, for people to be patient. I can tell you my Arsenal fan groups are not patient.
Oh yeah, quick
But
trigger.
but what's the answer? You know, who are you bringing in with the way this franchise is structured that's going to make any difference?
Well, that's the thing. You got to have. Is there anybody better? Probably not. At least at
No.
this point in season.
He needs an offensive-minded number 2 because Arteta's so defensively minded. You know, and you see it here. City's paying the price outside of this game, obviously, a little bit on defense, losing him as Pep's number 2, where Arsenal's defense has been one of the best in the game, but they can't find a way to score. So they need to bring in somebody that's going to help create some offense, maybe. Getting a guy.
You need Aubameyang to score.
Well, that's a bigger problem in itself. I mean,
that's a huge issue.
The guy hasn't put the ball in the net in 3 months since he's got his paycheck. So I don't know what we're going to do there, but they got to figure something out. You got to find Pepe. Pepe's got to score in games that aren't against, Molda. He's got to score in the Prem. There's a lot of things that need to be done, but you need a creator, like we talked about with Maradona needing a true number 10, and everybody's crying for Ozil back. Ozil's not the answer, please. It's not the answer.
It's not the Ozil of 4 years ago.
Right. Like, if it was him, sure, bring him in, but he's not him.
There's a reason why he's not
problems. In. He's battled mental problems. He's battled a lot of things. He's just not the player he was.
The man almost got robbed like twice.
Yeah, and was investigated that maybe he had something to do with setting it up because his boy Klosniak got robbed in his driveway. So
the Bosnians, man, you can't trust them.
Yeah, so who knows? But maybe they do get this move with Eriksen, and now Thomas Partey's been hurt. But if you get him back and you get Eriksen in there as a creator, as a 10, maybe something can get going. But you got to do something. Luiz is done after this year. Thank God that contract's over. If they extend him, I'm literally handing in my red card. I'm done. They can't extend him another year. I think it's time to add some more, a little revamping still in this defense. The kid Gabriel's been an amazing signing.
Yeah,
he's 22 years old. He's not going anywhere. That's been great. But other than that, I mean, I don't know where else we're going. Maybe Torreira comes back after a little loan stint at Atletico. He's been getting playing time there.
Right. Good.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just like somebody said the other day. I didn't even watch it. I go back and watch it afterwards just for the sake of all this. But I've gotten to the point where I need to kind of remove myself from it as it's happening and just not stress myself out watching how poor they've been.
It's better not to.
Yeah, it really is. And then to finish off Sunday, we had Liverpool just running roughshod on Leicester, which I did not expect.
Yeah, the Salah-less Liverpool.
Yeah, well, look at Jota, man.
What a
Lord
signing.
Walker, give Lord Walker his ups, man. Jota just nonstop. He does it again today. He does it he doesn't stop. That's all he's done is score. Yeah. All he's done is just fill in for different guys and score.
Man, it's like this is when you're like Burnley and Sheffield. Like, how can we not find a guy like this that scores literally every week? It's what Danny Ings did for Southampton last year.
And the craziest part is it's the best team getting this guy, or one of the best teams getting this guy, and then everybody's like, oh, will he even find a way to break into the lineup? Not only has he found a way to break into the lineup, you're finding it harder and harder to take him out.
And you really needed him, actually. We thought that we thought that maybe they would try and find. We were searching for where are they going to plug him in at, because we know Liverpool's lineup is already fantastic as it is. So it's like, where does Jota fit into this rotation or side? But with all the injuries and, of course, being COVID, he's just been thriving. Yeah,
you can put him in for any of the top 3 forwards in there, and he's been excelling. And it's a good thing as a coach, you need to be able to give these guys some time, especially with as many games as they're playing.
Right.
And when you didn't have a guy that you felt confident in, it made it harder to give your top 3 scorers time off. Now he doesn't have that problem.
Right.
He can confidently plug him in to any of those 3 spots.
I mean, they need him you didn't think they were going to need Jota, but now they do.
Put it this way. He's playing so well that now one of the narratives in some Liverpool circles is, do you or do you not sell Mohamed Salah? Like, you got to be playing really well for that to become.
I mean, somebody's gonna have to go because they're not.
Somebody's got to, yeah.
Because the way that Jota's playing, I mean, I don't know what his contract situation is or if he signed an extension with Liverpool, but I mean, you got to pay all these guys up top, Bobby Blue Eyes and Salah and Mane, you got to pay these guys big money.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be, and Van Dijk, he's cost an arm and a leg. And
Allison
Allison, Joe Gomez probably wants a big paycheck, and you got your 2 young wingbacks that want big cash.
Yeah, Dean Henderson's getting a nice chunk. Yeah,
it's gonna be tough to keep all these guys around.
It is. This game gets extremely interesting.
I don't know. Last Monday, I mean, Burnley got an actual win for once, and now you're starting to say, well, what the hell's up with Palace? They're doing Palace things again.
Yeah.
You lose to Burnley.
They can't beat anybody on the road.
And then you lose to Newcastle yesterday.
Yeah.
Issues.
Palace. And somehow
and they'll probably finish like mid-table where they always do.
Yeah. You try to explain these things and you just can't. That's the crazy thing with this game is like you finally think a team's figured it out and then boom. And then the opposite. You start to put some of these teams, out to dry and in the basement, and next thing you know, they run off 3 or 4 in a row and pick up 9, 12 points. And it's like, oh, I guess they're not going away. So
that's why
you can start to tell right now who the bottom guys. Yeah, you can tell who's going to be in the bottom. Pretty much who's going to be in the top. It's that mid-table that it's difficult to figure out.
Yeah,
who's going to be that like 14th to 18th that range type team.
Well, I mean, you always figure that Palace is going to be that 14, 18 range. Brighton's always right there. Newcastle's always right there.
Yeah.
Probably Leeds are going to finish in that probably 12 to 15 range, you would think.
Villa probably tapers off to there.
Most likely they come back down to normal, but
West Ham's, all those guys. Yeah, I mean,
it's a log jam.
Yeah. Always.
I mean, 2 surprises. I mean, the last one last week, I mean, Southampton, Wolves play to a draw. 1-1, which is kind of fitting for that one.
I nailed that one on a bet.
That's a good call.
Yeah, saw that one coming a mile away.
I mean, Theo's having his resurgence back at his old stomping grounds here.
Well, there's 3 guys in the Premier League right now that are playing pretty well that were not far removed from Arsenal, and that's Theo Walcott, that's Alex Iwobi, like another one that is just playing absolutely phenomenal. Like it's a killer if you're an Arsenal fan to see this.
It's one of those where you need to move away, different setting. He wasn't going to play that well at Everton.
Yeah.
And somebody need to step up with Danny Ings hurt. So him and Che Adams and Theo actually have been keeping Southampton somewhat afloat while Danny's been hurt.
Yeah.
And their defense is much better. Tommy's on the Pele train.
No, listen.
Listen,
It's hard to debate that.
it is really hard.
I'm just saying, when you go top two as far as achievement, too, not just skill, but achievement. Winning that cup for Argentina was a monstrous achievement. A lot of people don't realize there's very few countries that have ever won a World Cup. Like people in this country always say, "Oh, well, you didn't win. The U.S. has never like a lot of countries haven't won World Cups." There's only been 7 countries to ever win a World Cup. So
yeah, it's usually the same old people to win. Brazil, Germany's won.
Brazil, Germany, Uruguay, Argentina, France, and England. Spain. So it's 8.
I mean, it's the usuals.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I would say is that the only thing that would be the probably deciding factor would be just what, like Chrome said, what Maradona did for Argentina.
Yeah.
Now, there's no player, it's hard.
There's no Lionel Messi if there's no Diego Maradona.
I think that's...
there's no kid with that hunger and that works hard without, that's what he grew up, Messi, looking at and saying, "Not, I want to be that guy. I want to be better than that guy." Right. Just like there's probably no Kobe without Mike.
It's hand in hand.
Yeah, those previous guys, those previous generations drive the next one.
Right. They look up to that person. All the young,
all
the young Argentinians like that, that era, your Agueros and Messi's of the world. I'm sure like Dybala, those strikers, like center forwards, probably look to him and be like, "Yo, like, that's my idol."
Yeah.
And it helps now that, you're related to the guy, Aguero.
Yeah, but I still always have Pele number 1 too. Like Maradona would be,
I always thought Pele from watching, tape. And not that he wasn't huge in Brazil. Like he pretty much was the OG of Brazilian soccer.
Yeah. Both of them were 2 kids that came from absolutely nothing too, that just paved their way with this game. And another reason why we love this game is, just that type of thing. A lot of these guys, a lot of the best players in the world are all guys that have come from nothing. And you were able to just play with a ball. You don't even need a goal.
Yeah.
You need a ball and, maybe a couple rocks and a field. You don't even need a field. Some of these French leagues play on, like they look like our basketball courts.
Yeah,
like a pickup basketball court made out of concrete with chain link fence around it, and these guys are in there playing. So you want to talk soft about a game? Go watch the documentary on that French, the French kids growing up playing on the concrete and the cement, and then tell me how soft you think this game actually is. No shin guards, no nothing. They're out there playing the game.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think if you were a young kid starting out, like, I would take away the net. Like, you don't even need a net.
Yeah.
Because the first thing you need to learn to know how to do is dribble the ball.
Just play with the ball. Yes.
You ain't going anywhere if you can't dribble. Yeah. Unless you're an outstanding forward that just sits there and you're able to hold up play and somehow turn and shoot.
There's no correct answer. That's why this is A2D, Ritter. We all agree to disagree. There's never a correct answer.
Oh, yeah. I don't think there is a correct answer. Is there really a correct answer in any debate on what GOAT in each sport? People still say LeBron's better than Jordan.
Yeah, Ralphie.
There's always going to be those people, and there's always going to be people that say Maradona is better than Pele, and there's going to be people that say Pele is better than Maradona. It's what your eyes see.
Yeah.
People believe what they want to believe. Like, I could be seeing something different than what Brian's seeing, or Ritter, you could be seeing like, yo, Kobe was the best out of the three. Like, people just, what in your mind, you see what you want to see, and
Yes.
nobody's probably going to change what you think. Like, there's guys in Argentina probably are like, Maradona is the best, like, no doubt, better than Pele. And then people in Brazil are probably like, you know what, Pele, hands down, best player ever.
Well, you have to formulate your own opinion. I mean, we've been trying. We gave information early in the show that could help you formulate it. My suggestion would be take to YouTube, look up some videos, because that's all you're going to be able to go after. Look up career statistics. Although, again, statistics don't always tell you the true story about how a guy makes a change, especially on a soccer pitch. Some guys are the best players in the world, and they never put the ball in the net. And that was the debate when somebody's like, oh, touchdowns and goals and da-da-da-da. Yes, all those things are important. But you have some of the best players on some of the best teams don't score the ball. They just get it to where everybody else can score the ball, and they help prevent the other team from scoring the ball. And they are a huge catalyst on that field in every single game.
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you who to, because again, it's like we weren't able to watch these two players play when they were in their primes. Like, that's just not possible.
A lot of people will debate that Fat Ronaldo is one of the best players of all time.
Sure.
And I could stand by that debate. You watch some of the stuff that kid did when he was in his prime, before he, really settled into himself. Even his younger years when he was at Barca and the stuff that he did. Oh my God. Like,
it's all about what the era you grew up in. The old heads like us would say, yes, Jordan's better than LeBron. You have the old heads probably saying, yeah, Pele is better than Fat Ronaldo or Ronaldinho, or vice versa.
Yeah.
It's just like the game's just evolved so much over time. Like, the NBA was a freaking, you could literally stab a man on the court and they wouldn't even call a foul.
Yeah.
Now you blow on the guy and they call a foul.
Yeah. So
times change, man. But if you had to pick, I would say Pele. I think we're both on the Pele train.
Yes.
But again, if you want to look up videos of Pele's highlights and Maradona and, formulate your own opinion, do it up.
Go for it.
Quickly, before we get into this week and close it out, maybe just some Champions League rundown, not go into detail because we don't have enough time to do that.
Mm-hmm. I'm cool with that.
Just some highlights. Tuesday in Champions League, Sevilla beat Krasnodar. Not surprising. Chelsea had to pull one out of their ass and beat Stade Rennais 2-1. Dortmund got a nice win, 3-0 against Bruges. Aaron Holland continues to be one of the best young players in the world. Barcelona got a nice 4-1 win over Kiev. Juve had to pull one out of their ass against Fenerbahce. Lazio beat Zenit 3-1. United not letting Istanbul Başakşehir beat them twice in the same Champions League year.
Yeah.
Little revenge game, 4-1. And then PSG with a nice win at home against Leipzig.
That was another one when I was making my picks I thought was going to be difficult, but PSG pulled that one off. So
I think that was a Neymar PK as well.
There's a few teams that are basically ready to advance, barring any kind of craziness. There's a few teams that are pretty much already out. And then, as usual, there's a few that it's still probably going to come down to Judgment Day on the last day of group play.
Yeah,
So
we're starting to see some serious separation here. I think there's 2 games left in these group stages, I believe.
yeah, everybody's played 4 now. So you play 6 in the group stage. Obviously, there's 4 teams per group. You play everybody twice. So Group A, Bayern run away with it already, 4-4, 12 points. Atletico's right behind them with 5, and then Lokomotiv and Salzburg are probably going to struggle to get out of the group. Group B is probably one of the more competitive ones, with Gladbach just doing Gladbach things.
I say the last 2 games against Shakhtar, they beat them like 8-0 on the total aggregate, I feel.
Yeah, well, now they're up to plus 10 in the group with 8 points leading that group, with Madrid sneaking up behind them with 7 points now, but only a plus 2 goal differential. So that loss to Shakhtar early for Madrid was huge.
Yeah.
But you figure Madrid probably still comes back to win the group, but Gladbach has put them in a great position at least to advance out of group stages and into the knockout round. City is playing how City plays as far as they do in Champions League. They're 4-4 with 12 points, and they're who's right behind them? Porto is behind them in Group C with 9. So the other 2 have 3 and 0. So they're pretty much, those 2 are probably done in Olympiacos and Marseille. Liverpool has to be careful.
Yeah, they're teetering on that line.
Yeah, they're leading Group D with 9 points. But you have Ajax, who's playing really well, as Ajax always does. And now Atalanta getting that win. They're both sitting at 7 points. So they're right on their heels, and anything can still happen in these last 2. Then your boys and Sevilla seem to have Group E over and done with. You can book those. It's just a matter of who's going to win the group and who's going to take the second place out of that. Both sitting at 10 points there.
Lazio and us.
Yes. No, Sevilla. Oh, Lazio and Dortmund and F.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know which boys you were referring to.
Oh, yeah. No, Chelsea. Sorry. Group E was Chelsea and Sevilla.
Right.
10 points each, respectively. The other 2 both sitting at 1 point. So they're done. That group's wrapped up. And then Group F is your other boys, Dortmund sitting at 9 and Lazio at 8. So that's looking pretty good, unless Bruges can run off 2 in a row to somehow sneak into that second place spot, but I don't see it. And then we have G with Barca doing Barca things, going 4-4 as well, 12 points. And Juve with 9, and the other 2 again with 1. So they're that group's pretty much wrapped up with 2 to go.
Juve.
And Group H with United. United playing way different brand of ball in Champions League than they are in the Prem right now, and they're at 9. They're leading that group with PSG and Leipzig creeping up with 6 behind them. So it's not over yet, but they have the advantage there.
A good team out of that group is not making it through.
No. So once again, you see the dominance of the Premier League though in Champions League. And like we always say, why it's the best league in the world. There's so much parity in our own league, and then you put them in competition with all the other best club teams in the world, and they're pretty much leading. They're leading every group that they're in. So
you play tough competition week in, week out, and you go into Champions League, and you're like, well, this should be easy for us.
Yeah.
So yeah,
like I always said, you play bums, you learn to play like a bum. You play better teams, and it gets you better. And that's in any sport.
It's crazy, right?
So, yeah.
The formula for success. Play good teams week in and week out.
Yeah, the better competition you play, the better scrimmages you play, the better friendlies you play, the better whatever preseason games, no matter what sport it is. It's only going to benefit you playing better competition.
Exactly.
So, yeah, we look forward to rounding that out. We don't even really need to get into Europa unless you want to. I mean, again, it was few uneventful games. I had a horrible run on my parlay. It was a ton of draws. I think Milan ended up drawing. Eddie's Rangers ended up drawing, which I picked in my parlay, but unfortunately the other ones didn't pan out. So Leicester ends up drawing. It just wasn't the best performances this week in Europa for some of the bigger clubs outside of Arsenal. So I'll take that one.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you could get a win with a rotated side, that Florian Bologna that scored for Arsenal.
Yeah.
He's apparently he has U.S. citizenship.
Yes, another one.
So he's one of those that might be in the works. Just pluck him, baby.
Just pluck him. Speaking of the U.S., real quick too, the coach from Stuttgart was getting a lot of press this week, being that he's actually a U.S. coach coaching at a high level, or U.S. base coach. So he could be another one that if, there's a little bit of failure in our ranks, he could be one of the other ones on the list. And, hey, they gave Bayern a game today. They actually led Bayern and had a chance to and leveled it up. And VAR decision, which was the right decision, the guy pulled down Manuel Neuer, which led to the goal. And then Lev comes right back with a rocket, and Bayern wins again. So
crazy.
Just quick Bayern plug. I have the Bayern pants on today, so I had to give a quick Bayern plug before we go off the air today.
Of course, that you're allowed to.
I'm trying to get like an Arsenal and a Bayern banner for.
Yeah, you need a nice flag
with a little A2D and kick. I need A2D kicking it stateside. Bayern, Arsenal, US, England. That's the plan. That's the
triumvirate.
It's the brain trust. Yeah.
The holy triumvirate. I guess before we get out of here, there was the final score. City did beat Burnley 5-0 was the final.
Yeah.
And then later today, which is about to kick off actually, we got Everton and Leeds, which is pretty good.
That's a good one. You should check that out, definitely.
That'd be interesting to see which Everton team and which Leeds team comes to play. Because this could be a 6-goal thriller the way that you think it would set up.
That's funny because I was just going to say I think Leeds probably wins like a 3-2 game. So 5.
Both 6, teams can score and both teams can let up a lot of goals. So that should be fun.
Yeah.
That
should be a fun one.
Later today, it's a big battle of teams at the bottom. West Brom hosting Sheffield. Again, this is a game where one of these teams need 3 points. But again, it will probably be 0-0 or 1-1.
Each team takes a point and are still in major trouble.
Yes. Obviously, we talked about the triple header tomorrow.
Yep.
Southampton hosting United. That should be fantastic the way Southampton's been playing. United again in the league. I think Pogba again is going to be out, which might be a spark to them. They seem to play better without him. So that should be an entertaining way to start your day off. That's 9:00 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Obviously, the the London derby. Chelsea Spurs will be the main game at 11:30. Again, winner looks pretty good up there with Liverpool for first. So a lot on the line there. Then the last one tomorrow, as we talked about, 2:15, Arsenal hosts Wolves. Another hopefully bounce back for Arsenal. Not a great team to play if you need to score goals because Wolves do not tend to give up that many.
Yeah, Rui Patricio leading the clean sheets with 4, with Fabianski and Emi Martinez and McCarthy, and Mendy. So there's a little gridlock up there with clean sheets right now, but Rui's just doing Rui things, and he seems to be ageless. I think he's 33 now.
Yep.
He's been the keeper of Portugal for a decade.
It feels like forever.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's going to be a tough one for my boys, but we'll see. They tend to at least play up for the bigger games a little bit. So
Right.
And then Monday we got Leicester Fulham 12:30. And then West Ham Villa at 3. That'd be a nice game to watch leading up to your Monday night football game, guys. So that should be those two teams have played very well this year, and that should be a competitive one.
Absolutely.
Worth checking out.
Again, Joey just reminded me, obviously, can't forget about the yellow card, red card. We've been talking it up the whole goddamn time.
Yes.
So it was in the championship, which is the second division under the Premier League, if those of you who do not know. I believe it's Derby County, correct?
I believe so. I
don't remember who they're playing, but I'm pretty sure it's Derby County. Like we kind of were teasing the whole time. Literally, the guy teased him on the field. Literally, it was a set piece, right? And, they're jousting like they usually do on those stoppages of play. Then all of a sudden, the guy just gives just a little handshake to the guy's third leg. Like a nice grab, like a firm grasp, like almost like jaying him off, like on the field.
Yes. And that's why we dubbed it the blue card.
He's really hurting him out there.
Yeah, like at least, maybe when he got thrown off and went back to the locker room and finished the gig. I don't know if he was promoting him, like, hey, everybody look, he actually has it. Yeah.
It was just, and he got a 3-game suspension for giving his meat a third shake.
Yeah, so is it worthy of 3? Should it have been more? I mean, I guess you got to ask the guy who got it, like, does he deserve 3? Does he deserve a promotion?
Did it feel good? Did it feel good? I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it, yes or no?
Yeah. Like, maybe it wasn't unwarranted. We are in a different time these days, so.
Love is love. That's all I say. I don't know.
Yeah. So we'll throw a blue card at that one. I don't have much on the other ones. Again, it's been a tough week. It was a nice week with Thanksgiving. It was a tough week with the Maradona loss.
Yeah.
So hopefully going into next week we don't have any more tribute shows for a while. That'll be on the ESPN top 10 definitely.
Or not definitely.
Top 10. Or not top 10. No, it won't make it. ESPN's too mainstream. They can't even show that on there.
I'll say they'd have to blur out they'd have
to. Yeah.
It's like, you can't see this. Avert your eyes, children.
Well, Tom's been playing around with FaceApp a lot this week, so maybe I want to see him FaceApp the grab. Could we get on that, guys?
Wait, does Tom's face go on the guy getting grabbed or doing the grabbing?
I think getting grabbed. I don't think he'd be the grabber. I think there's a guy over on another media site that we could FaceApp as the grabber.
Put that son of a bitch on the other's face.
We'll work on that one.
Or put Greg or B. Willie on the other end. And play that before their show tomorrow.
I don't want to do it to those guys.
I would say put Tori, but that would probably cause a huge scene on this site.
Oh man, yeah, there'd be issues.
Violations in the workplace.
Yes.
But yeah, that's just, it's becoming a fun thing. These weird, and it's all done with like bodily. Last week we had the butt grab or the cheek or hole grab.
Yeah, hole gate.
We got butthole gate. Now we got dick grab gate.
Yeah.
So you got to leave the other guy's shit alone.
Yeah, just leave it alone.
Literally. But yeah, we're past our time. I actually am going to go golfing. I'm actually going to miss these last games.
Well, take advantage while you can. Enjoy it.
I mean, you got to get the good weather. You got to keep going.
Yeah, and I'm sure you'll play better than Barkley, so enjoy yourself.
I actually lost a lot of money on that. So fuck Steph Curry and Peyton Manning. You're dead to me.
How do you bet against Lefty, even with such a poor partner? The only guy that's actually a golfer on the thing.
Steph Curry is a scratch golfer.
Hey, if it was Romo instead of Peyton, I would have took it. But they plugged Peyton in there for a reason. His golf game's not that good. He's just
Peyton and Steph were hitting shots I would hit.
Yeah.
Not a guy that shoots 71.
Well, there was nerves.
You
Barkley got
me.
in their head, and Phil was finishing.
I knew Lefty would do his thing, but Charles was not that good either. But anyway.
Oh, he's horrible. Yeah, let's get out of here.
Thank you, guys. It was a fun show. Thanks for Torian and everybody. Tom, Joey, obviously, always checking in. Chrome, Andy, Eddie, of course, always popping in.
Yep, and check out all these guys on their own respective shows on A2D throughout the week. I'm going to start posting on our social media schedule for everybody too. So
sounds good.
Everybody keep up the good work. Love you guys.
Yeah, so enjoy your weekend. Get out the good weather while you still can. And, yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Yes, sir. Later.
Later.